Wynn's New Year resolution was to lose weight. At the beginning of the new year, so January 1st, Wynn weighed 314 pounds, and after 128 days, she weighed 218 pounds. So we want to do two things here. Find the rate of change of weight loss over time, and write a linear equation modeling Wynn's weight loss. Okay, there's a couple of key terms here that we have to make sure we understand. In part A, find the rate of change. Now, the rate of change, what that is the slope. And normally we use the term rate of change if it's a slope in a word problem. So rate of change just means the slope that we're using in a word problem. So let's say that's going to be the slope. And for part B, write a linear equation modeling Wynn's weight loss. Well, what is a linear equation? That's an equation with two variables, in this case, in the form y equals mx plus b. Now remember, slope is the m. Okay, so slope is m times x plus b, where b is the y-intercept. Okay, so we're given some information in the problem. At the beginning of the new year, Wynn weighed 314 pounds. After 128 days, she weighed 218 pounds. So we're talking about two things here, number of days and number of pounds. And so let's let x equal days. Well, not just days, but let's say days after the new year. So on January 1st, at the new year, x would be 0 because no days have passed yet. So x equal days after new year, and then y could be the weight. And so we're basically given 2 points or 2 ordered pairs. So when x is 0, that means at the beginning of the new year, when x is 0, her weight is 314. And then 128 days later, so x is number of days after the new year, so when x is 128, her weight is 218. Now, for part A, we're trying to find the rate of change of weight loss over time, or basically find the slope of the linear equation. Now, we have this formula for slope. Sometimes we look at slope as being rise over run, or vertical change over horizontal change, or y value. So we could say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the ones, the x1 and y1 is the first point, and the x2 and y2 is the second point. So the 0, this is the x1, the 314, this is the y1. That's our first ordered pair. And then the 128 is our x2, and the 218 is our y2. That's the second point. Okay, so if we plug those numbers in, y2 minus y1 on top, so 218 minus 314 divided by x2 minus x1, which is 128 minus 0. Okay, so if we simplify this, well, 218 minus 314, well, that's going to be negative, and it's going to be actually negative 96 divided by 128 minus 0, not 180, 128. And we always want to reduce our fractions, so 96 over 128, that definitely could be reduced because at least they're divisible by 2. I'm going to use the calculator for this. You could reduce this fraction by whatever method you like. But I'm going to bring in the trusty old TI-84. Now the way to reduce a fraction on this calculator is to divide. So remember, fraction means division. So let's say negative 96, and we'll divide that by 128. Now when we hit enter, it's always going to give us a decimal. Okay, so negative 0.75, and maybe you know that this is negative 3/4, but if not, if we go into the math menu, so if you click math, hit the math button, option 1 is convert to fraction. So math 1, that's something you might want to remember. Math 1 on the graphing calculator means convert to fraction, and so we see the fraction is negative 3/4. So negative 96 over 128 reduces to negative 3/4. Okay, so for part A, find the rate of change of weight loss over time. So that rate of change is negative 3/4, or in words, you would say she loses 3 pounds every 4 days. So the negative 3 means the weight is going down. So now for part B, well, we already have half of our answer for part B because we need the linear equation y equals mx plus b. Well, again, we know m is negative 3/4. And what is b? Well, b is the y-intercept, which means b is the y value of any point where x is equal to 0. And we already have that. Our first point is 0, 314. So if you were to graph that point, it would be on the y-axis. So we're actually given the y-intercept in this problem. So we know now the slope, we know the y-intercept. So that linear equation should be y is equal to m, which is negative 3/4, times x plus b, which is 314. And that should do it for this problem.